showcased a piece of their community cultural wealth. My Istanbul Armenian friend had told me about it. He had Kurdish friends in the Kurdish community, and he had invited me. And to my amazement, in my exactly 2 years of living in the 98% ethnically Armenian Armenia, I finally felt like a minority in Armenia, which had never happened before. So when the concert ended, my friend and I left with his Kurdish friends who were active in the Kurdistan Committee in Yerevan and were former PKK guerrilla fighters who are now in self-exile. While speaking to them about Armenian sociopolitics, one of the ex-fighters, which I think may have said something similar, but my Turkish is not strong enough, when he spoke about the border opening, he described how it'd be great for Yazidis and Kurds because the cultural interaction and the flow of the flow of people. But when he spoke about it from an Armenian, for the Armenian state, he thought it was horrible because Armenia's poor economy and leadership would be swallowed up like a big fish does a small fish, according to our friend. So the first time, I not only felt like a minority in my ethnic homeland, but also the border issue. I also saw the border issue through, though immaturely, from a non-Armenian perspective. This was the first. This motivated me to attempt to understand the border issue and from a Yezidi perspective. I feel like I'm quite loud. Is that true? No? Okay. Because I'm hearing myself. So to give just basic background, Yazidis are the largest minority in Armenia. They make up only 1.3% of the country. It's very, very small. And as of 2011, there were 35,272 Yazidis and 2,131 Kurds, who were mostly Yazidis, but identify themselves as Kurds. I have a very basic amount of information about Yazidis in Armenia, before I embarked on this, and I'd like to give a note that mainly what I knew was due to this one journalist, James Krikorian, who studied extensively Yazidis both in Armenia and Georgia, and it's because of him I now have my basic knowledge, but of course there was research done after. So my research intended to reveal opinions and issues that the Yezidi community in Armenia has in regards to Armenian-Turkish border and its implications being both closed and open. This entails discussing the issue of memory and history before the border's official constellation some 93 years ago, and the experience they've had during the Soviet era up to the present Armenian Republic. In essence, the paper is about the Yazidi perspectives and in relations with Turkish citizens, mostly Kurds, and the issues behind them and what that entails for all actors, being Yazidi, the Yazidi Kurdish community, Kurds, and Armenians. Yazidis presently do not have a functioning kin community in Turkey. The only connection they have is a shared ethnic camaraderie with mainly Kurmanji Muslim Kurds. Many Kurds in Eastern Anatolia are keen to the idea of a new Armenian market through stories that we hear through the media, the Van businessmen that want the Van Yerevan line. And since Armenian neighbors heavily Kurdish populated regions of Turkey, which are also economically underdeveloped to an extent, it is assumed that Armenian-friendly Kurds are more likely to visit Armenia in comparison to Turks. This is the assumption, plus due to vicinity and what we've seen so far. But of course, this is just an assumption if the borders were to be opened. When Yazidis, many Yazidis have animosity or a range of other issues with Muslim Kurds, mostly due to modern nationalistic propaganda and historical injustices. This I'm going to be speaking more about through my presentation. However, the foundations for these Yazidi-Kurdish relations have already been established and are mainly being maintained between Armenia's Kurdish Yazidi community and the PKK, indirectly or directly, however we like to see it. Albeit, all this on a very small scale. It is important for Armenia to understand its social capital in the Yazidi community and the role and issues it currently has in the future of Turkish-Kurdish Armenian relations. I feel like this is something already going on, and it's necessary to understand what's going on in the social capital. To talk about, I've decided to conduct interviews with various members of the Yezidi community. The research is small. It was done in a very short time frame. I've only conducted 23 interviews and visited 11 different villages around the country. The scale is small, and interviews have been conducted at only 10 villages. One of the villages has their sanctuary, which we'll see a photo of later. And the interviews were also done in Yerevan, in the capital. Participants are from various parts of the country. The interviews have been done according to geographic proportion, and with the objective of obtaining people of diverse professions and statuses within the community. So by population ranking, most Yazidis in Armenia live in the province of Armavir, Aragatsotan, Ararat, and then Yerevan and Godait, and so on. Since the majority, nearly half of Yazidis live in Armavir province, I tried to collect interviews according to the population density and relevance of the community, and also some placing issues. I'd like to mention that the Tallinn region of the Aragatsotan province I was not able to go to. That's one of my shortcomings in traveling, but I plan on going there as well. Unfortunately, I haven't gone there. There's many Yazidis there as well. There was a mixed approach to interviews. The majority were based on convenience, hearsay, and on geographic vicinity. Others were pre-selected, often those who were academics or individuals with leadership positions in the community. The intent was to obtain a broad scope of people, from common villagers to religious leaders to civil society representatives and academics.